Hey guys, it's Charlie. It is March 19th, Friday. And I have TikTok written on the board. And the reason I do is because, you know, the tension is almost palpable, at least as far as I'm concerned, with this takeover, this government takeover that's going to be voted on Sunday, it looks like now. And I call it a takeover, not a healthcare takeover, because in my opinion, this is the foot in the door, the blatant precedent being set for our government to be able to come to you and say, you must, in order to promote the betterment of the collective, purchase something from another private person or private corporation. It's unbelievable that we are this far along in this debate. And today, I was listening to some of it on talk radio, thinking, look at where the dialogue is now. It isn't about, is it the right thing to do? It isn't about the X number of people who don't currently have insurance. It's being talked about as a foregone conclusion that some version of this is going to pass. Now, and we end up in a situation that is, as far as I can tell, never been has never been in the history of the nation a situation like this where you have a bill, a spending bill, brought to the House of Representatives from the Senate, which is unconstitutional to begin with. Spending bills are by the Constitution's mandated to originate in the House of Representatives. But even with that set aside for a minute, you have a piece of legislation that could no longer pass the Senate. Because if you remember, when it passed the Senate, Brown from Massachusetts was not in the Senate. So if they took this same bill and voted on it today in the Senate, it wouldn't pass. Ironically, the same bill wouldn't pass the House of Representatives right now either. There's not enough votes in there to pass the Senate version in the House. So they're using the trick, the slaughter rule, the deemed to pass rule, to vote on a package of amendments. These are the cowards representing us, guys. These are the cowards, these 435 people in the House of Representatives that are going to control the destruction of our Constitution by voting on amendments that will deem to pass the Senate bill, which couldn't pass today. So we have a piece of legislation that couldn't pass the Senate if they voted on it today, or the House of Representatives, that very well likely could be signed into law this very Sunday because amendments to it are being voted on. Wow, have we absolutely crossed the Rubicon into utter, complete insanity? I don't know how else you describe it. And I just want to remind everybody, if this is the first time watching one of my videos on this subject, this piece of legislation goes against absolutely everything you've ever learned about the Constitution of the United States of America. It goes against just basic freedom. You know, you must buy. I'm going to force you to buy something, and if you don't, the Internal Revenue Service will use the full force of the federal government to make you comply and purchase, or you will be fined under penalty of law. And I don't know what the bill's been online for certainly not long enough for me to read all 2,700 pages of it. But I do know this: the Internal Revenue Service, who has a tax code that nobody can understand, they themselves can't even understand it, and has become a monstrous bureaucracy, is now going to be in charge of 1/6 of the economy, enforcing regulation on 1/6 of the economy. TikTok is on the board, and it's because millions and millions and millions of people have showed over the last year utter outrage at the takeover of our country, of our absolute liberties are being flushed down the toilet daily, and the language that's entered the lexicon now isn't, Section 1, Article 7, or Article 1, Section 7. It isn't anything to do with the Constitution. It's how are we going to get this thing passed? How are we going to sneak this through? Unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. I want to put a thanks out to everybody who is on the East Coast. I wish that I could afford to buy a $3,000 night before ticket to fly out to D.C. and take part in the protests going on out there. If you live in the East and you're going to it, thank you very much. Please, for your own safety, take a camera, take a video camera, and video this thing, video what goes on, and post it on YouTube. And if you're afraid to post it on YouTube, send it to me. I will post it for you on YouTube. But I think it's really important that the people in this country see people, their fellow Americans out there protesting this. Everybody that you talk to, everybody that I talk to, every poll that's out there shows that the American people do not want this piece of legislation. I'm not saying they don't want some form of reform in healthcare. They don't want this. They don't want the Internal Revenue Service forcing you to purchase something from a private company in order to better the life of the collective. That's what we're being sold on. Hold on, guys. And like I said, if you're out there, if you're in Washington, please video it and post it. It's very important. So, and I have an idea. Some of you guys live out there in that Virginia area will be doing that. And send me the video in a message, and I'll post it on my site as well, or on my channel. Because one or two things are going to happen. Sunday, if they vote on it and it's passed, the door is going to absolutely be kicked in on your liberties. If it doesn't pass, if there's an upset and this thing doesn't pass for some reason, then this administration, admittedly, is a failed administration. They can't get anything done. So what's that going to lead to? Is it going to lead to executive orders? Is it going to lead to some sort of, who knows? You name it. Martial law, because this is systemic. The medical industry is falling apart. Who knows? Would you ever think in your wildest dreams that 2 years ago that we could be where we are right now? So to answer that question is no. I would have never thought that. So who knows? TikTok. I mean, the timer's running out, and something's going to happen. That's all I got.